It is a thing of beauty. Each piece individually put into the edge of the guitar. Not a transfer, but wood binding going all around there. And you can actually see the different shades of wood. And it is beauteous beyond compare. And even on the edges, the sides, there's beautiful wood there. And look at the quality of the wood here. That beautiful wood. And it's all hand done. It really is. They put so much work into this. It's hard to believe. And as you can see, it's all hand done the whole way around and there's no damage to it. And I haven't got a clue what kind of guitar this is. But I do know one thing. It's a very cheap guitar. They put all this work into it, but they didn't put the work into the actual guitar itself. Because when you come down to this side, you'll see that the warning signs come on the edge, where the edge of the beading goes to the guitar. It's all rough and the fibers have gone loose and they haven't done it properly there. And then you start to look around and you say, well, that's not very nice. That is very poor looking. And you sort of get suspicious. And then when you get up to the neck, you think, well, that neck's interesting. But I think it's inexpensive rosewood that's got pattern in it. And it has a buzz saw on each side. The frets are so bad that rip your hands to shreds. Now, the head has got nothing on it. It's got the wrong tuners on it. I'll just take that nut off. Well, will I take it off? No, I'll leave it on. And as you can see, they've been replaced, but not replaced with the right. Now, this guitar has everything going for it, especially a cat that walks past your thing. The back is a lovely piece of wood as well, and it's been matched and laid. Real wood. Not so nice around the edges, but everything to me shouts out as cheap. So you just wonder why they went to all the bother of putting all this handcrafted wood in. Now I'm going to have a look inside, and I want to know what kind of guitar this is, and there's no clues. Here's another little thing up here. You see the damage to the wood there? That's natural damage in the wood, which makes me think that that's cheap rosewood with some pattern in it. But I'll look that up and put the kind of rosewood it is below. Okay, let's go inside. It all looks okay inside. It looks like real wood. And everything looks to be in where it should be. And there's no cracking on it. Nothing strange or startling here at all. It's all glued well. But I still get the impression of cheapness. And I wish I knew what type of guitar it was so that I could be proved wrong. But the one thing that also makes me think it's cheap is what's not there. There's no truss rod. What does that say up there? Does that say anything there? I'll have a look on the computer and see. There's no truss rod, which means no adjustment. But that doesn't mean cheap either. That could mean a different type of guitar that doesn't need a truss rod. There is no studs on them for a guitar strap on each end. So what does that tell you about the type of guitar it is? And the other thing is that I noticed, I'll come out here and just change. Right, if we look along the neck, I don't know whether you get to see this, but the neck is a little bit misshapen. Maybe if I show it to you this way. The neck is just a little bit twisted here and there. Not awful, but with no truss rod, there's no adjustment to it. So we're going to get a playable guitar, and we're going to get a pretty looking guitar, but I just don't think it's the high quality guitar that I thought it was at the beginning. Has anybody any clues what it is? The head I've done a search for. The binding I've done a search for. The tuners are a dead giveaway too, by the way. See those tuners? They're a dead giveaway of an inexpensive guitar. They're the original tuners. But maybe when I take off one and have a look inside, it might tell me more. But there we go. I'm a little bit disappointed with it, but I think it's going to be a nice little player and it'll look pretty. Unfortunately, all my assumptions are proving to be correct, disappointingly. But I took the tuners off and they're all made of plastic. You know, none of these things are metal, which tells me even more that it's not an expensive guitar. I'm looking at the neck, and that is a feeler gauge of 88 millimeters or 0.35 of an inch, and you can see it has a very large underbow. Now I'm going to put the next thing on it again and look at it. What I might be able to do, let me just check the straightness of the neck. It's going to be a fairly high action. It's going to be playable up here. The neck, I've looked at it even more closely. The frets are really in bad condition and they're going to need to be done a lot of work on, but that can be done. I'll replace the tuners. But what I think I'll do now is I'll work on the neck, because it is the thing that's going to display whether the guitar is going to be any kind of player or not. Although I'm pretty sure I know what kind of player it's going to be. It's going to be the money shot player up here. And I would not be putting steel strings on this. I'd be putting black nylon on this because of the fact that there's no truss rod. Steel strings would just go like that there, and you'd end up with a harp. Well, I think the neck could look good. The head and the body looks good. The neck could look good, and the head needs something done with it. I'm going to look at that later. But this is like a razor blade the whole way down each end of it. And I tried to get in there nice and neat because it's a high gloss edge, but I've given up on that. And I'm going to use a edge file sander and just go down. It's going to be noisy. What am I getting there? What am I feeling? I think this has been lacquered, the neck. Let me just get down to the bottom of this one. Yeah, I think somebody's lacquered it. Let me just feel something here. Has it just made my job 100 times harder? Yeah, that's all lacquer. Right, I'm down to the wood now. And you can see the difference. There's lacquer in there. Let me bring you down. I was expecting this to be an ordinary job, but they put sort of a satin lacquer on it, which makes it harder to see. Just give it another scrape. I'm going to put something on that just to let you see what it looks like. I'm actually, what am I going to do? What I will do, but I'll just put a little bit of lemon oil at the moment on, let you see what it will look like whenever I do the high build guitar finishing oil. You can see the difference there. As soon as you get that moisture on it, that looks a million times better. Right, okay, so I don't think I'm going to let you suffer the whole way of me doing scrape, scrapity, scrape, scrape, scrape. So I'll come back to you when I've done it all, ready to put the oil on. I'm not finished. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 done, 4.5 done, and my fingers are raw and using that blade. Scraping and scraping and scraping. And then I had a sort of brainwave to myself, this is hand finished, so somebody's just painted it on, so let's see what acetone does to it. And it works. So a good thorough helping of acetone on it melts the gloss and takes it right down to the wood. And I'll have to do that 3 or 4 times, but it takes it off without all that bloody scraping and scraping. I probably will still have to scrape a bit to get it nice looking. The proper oil on. I'm actually going to use high build guitar finishing oil and polish it into this neck, because the neck looks pretty good, and we'll see where we go from that. But let's not bore you all with just cleaning acetone to clean it all off. It was taking quite a bit of acetone too. Right, that was a real job and a half, I tell you. That's at least 4 hours work to get that neck back down to where it should be, and I'm still seeing little bits that I need to work on. But I'm going to now turn it round, and we're going to start now to polish the frets and clean it up. So I'll turn it round. I'm just putting this together, but what you're seeing there is 90% lacquer and just a little bit of wood. Now I vacuum it up. Right, that's looking a lot better, but now I'm going to sand it and allow the sandpaper to touch the wood, because I want to make sure that it looks like the grain is running up and down. You'll see what I mean in a minute, because there still is some lateral movement in it. Right, steel wool time. And that's about all you're going to see of it, because I'm not going to spend too much time videoing steel wool polishing. And it rattles. You can see how much shiny that is. Anyway, pause and come back to you when I've done all that. Right, that's them all polished up. Now I'm just going to clean up the fretboard, and I'm going to put some high build finishing oil on it. And I think you'll see from the first coat of the high build that this is going to look like a very nice neck, or should I say a very nice fretboard. Now, I bet you that Crimson Guitars Ben would say you must put gloves on and stuff like that there. I'm sure he's right, but I would guarantee, or I would bet, maybe not guarantee, but I would bet that 90% of this is linseed oil with a few of Ben's own special additives. But look how beautiful that neck's going to be coming. And that's only one coat. I think it's going to get 3 or 4 coats of this. So the way you do this for the neck, and I don't think it's on Ben's channel, and it should be, I think you put it on the neck, you let it sit on it, you wait 15 minutes, you polish it all off as much as you can, then put another coat on, wait 15 minutes, polish it all off as much as you can, and maybe put 3 or 4 more coats on and polish them off. Don't let them sit on, because it's going into the wood and you want it to go into the wood. But you don't want it to leave a sticky residue on top of the fretboard or any of the wood you're working on. So that's what you do, and I'm going to do this and take it off and on, off and on, off and on, and I'm going to do it off camera because there's nothing more boring. But you see, look at that, how that looks now. That wood is beautiful, isn't it? So I'll try to find out what kind of wood that is. I think I know the name in the back of my head, but we'll see. We'll see. Come back to you when this is all done. Okay, gonna look. I had to redo the whole back of the neck again because that person who did it must have put some of that lacquer on the back of the neck, and it took ages to get it off, but that's enough of me moaning. I'm going to give the body a little polish now because it feels dirty. Rather than looking dirty, it feels dirty, so it'll be interesting to see what's going to come off it. It might have been sitting for a long time, not being played in a smoky atmosphere. You can just sort of feel the grit and grime on it, you know. Somebody's garage with a car going, you know. Look how dirty that is. Pretty dirty. You can just feel it. Yeah. Right, okay. Now I'm going to have to scrape out the whole inside of there because that needs a new saddle and it's all crusty inside. So I'm going to have to scrape that all out. Looks like somebody's used some sort of glue or plastic, but I'll not do that on camera. I'll come back to you when I've done that. Yeah, alright, okay. Well, this guitar is proving to be fun because whoever put the Brit saddle in last time used epoxy resin to try to get it to stay in. And that epoxy resin is jammed up against the sides. Fortunately, I have a set of really rough files which are helping it, but it's going to take me a while to do it. And I'm trying not to scrape the body part because I want the bridge to sit flat. Although I'm putting an awful lot of work into something that's only worth about 40 quid, but I want to get it playable. And so I'll just keep doing this, taking away the edges of where the epoxy resin was. I've never seen a saddle put in with epoxy resin. You can hear the resin cracking there, but I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there. That's going in, and now I just have to shape that and then worry about where it's going. I might even put epoxy resin in it to keep it going. But we'll see. Okay. Gotta stop. Tomorrow, maybe. Right, I'll just cut these off and try. I put it in tune, but these are notorious, these black nylon strings. It'll take a couple of weeks for them to stay in tune. And some of the windings on the strings are 10 or 12. As you see, there's quite a lot because they stretch a lot. But they're cheap and they're cheerful and they do the job. So I'll just tune this up again. I'll just let you see it. There you are. It's all looking nice, isn't it? The neck and everything and the body. And it looks like a nice guitar. It looks like a super guitar. Oh, what was that crack? What did I tell you? Look, I don't trust that the string came off. Right, pause. I have to tie another knot in this. All right. Well, that was a pain. And as you see, I've actually had to put a steel string on in the end because the black string just kept breaking and breaking and breaking. So one steel string on and the rest nylon. Maybe might even be worth going for complete steel because you're not going to get a good guitar sound out of it. But let me just check the sound, the tuning again. The little steel string doesn't make that much difference to a guitar like this. It sounds all right. It sounds the same. So I'll get a plectrum and just go check the tuning again. It'll take a while for those strings to settle in, a long, long while. Well, it's playing. It'll play and it'll do a good job playing. Hear a train a-comin', drumming down the track. Let's just check the tuning again. As you see, it plays. It'll take a while for those strings to settle down. That's my playing. That's making it sound dull. Bit hard on the fingers because it's still high up there. You know, okay, let's play my favorite chord. No. Does it sound in tune? All right. Georgia girls in that little black slot with the green ribbon over the top. Oh, something went crack. What was that? Let's have a listen to the tuning just to see. Oh, the B string went cracked. Let's just see if we can get it back up. We're up at G sharp. Oops. Oops. G, A. Will it get the B without blowing up? I smacked my finger the last time. All right, it's going home now to Daddy. If any of you guys have seen a guitar like this, please tell me what kind of make it is. I know it's not an expensive one, but it's going home now. Say bye-bye. Very, very frustrating guitar. Bye-bye, 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 bye. Bye-bye, Georgia girl. Bye-bye.